Hi, everyone. Welcome to the Northern Kentucky Spotlight podcast presented by CVG. I'm your host, Sarah Brookbank. Today on the podcast, we are joined by Nick Rolfe and Jessica Hurley of the Fort Thomas Business Council. They highlight what's happening with the organization and how local businesses can get involved. We are also joined by Nancy Grayson, President and CEO of Horizon Community Funds of Northern Kentucky, who highlights the 2024 Horizon Award recipient. This award will be presented at annual dinner on Thursday, September 12th. If you don't already have your ticket for the biggest night of the year in Northern Kentucky, you can visit nkychamber.com/events to register. And while you're there, you can also register for the upcoming Fort Thomas Business Council Roundtable meeting focused on improving Fort Thomas's business districts. This event happens this week on Thursday, August 22nd. So visit nkychamber.com/events to register for that. Thank you to our podcast sponsors, CVG, our title sponsor, C Crew Consulting, our digital sponsor, and our episode sponsor, Schneller Knockelman. Now, let's hear a little bit more from those sponsors, meet our members of the week, and I'll be back with this week's guests.
Why would you travel to England?
For football.
To go or not to go?
That is an easy question.
To visit the land of Shakespeare.
To take in all the sights.
Authentic fish and chips.
To experience arts and culture.
2 words, British Open.
To visit my family.
Same reason I go anywhere. For a pint of beer. To start my trip through Europe.
Whatever your reason, there's no better time than now.
Congratulations to our members of the week. You can learn more about these businesses by following the Northern Kentucky Chamber on social media, where we will highlight one of these businesses each day. Now, let's meet our members of the week. Regardless of size, location, or difficulty, McD Concrete takes pride in helping their clients deliver the highest quality work on time and within budget. Intervise is the HVAC, plumbing, and building automation controls expert of choice for maintenance and installation. Environmental Demolition Group specializes in the abatement of asbestos, lead, mold, and other environmental contaminants, as well as the select interior demolition for renovation, remodel, or conversion projects. 3D Corrugated has been packing up and shipping items on behalf of their clients for years. With hundreds of thousands of packages under their belt, they're ready to take on your shipping and fulfillment needs. House Captain Made is a new small business located in Florence, serving Northern Kentucky and Ohio with residential and commercial cleaning services. Hi, everyone. Today on the podcast, I am joined by Nancy Grayson, President and CEO of Horizon Community Funds. Nancy, welcome back to the podcast.
Thanks so much for having me again.
Yes, I love having you on. We are here to talk about annual dinner. We are here to talk about the Horizon Award. So let's jump right in. We are giving out the Horizon Award once again at annual dinner on Thursday, September 12th. Tell us about the Horizon Award.
We are so honored to bring this award back yet again this year. The Horizon Award focuses on individuals who've given back to the community through their time, their talent, their treasure, of course, really making an impact on the local community, trying to make sure that they're showing the public how to give back and create the public good, how they're making direct contributions to the community. And so we want to show evidence on how they're contributing to our community's well-being. And we're excited to honor that again this year.
Yes. So tell us about our 2024 recipient this year.
So Tim Hanner is our 2024 Horizon Award recipient. Tim is most recently well known for his work with Educate NKY, which is a newer community organization, a nonprofit that's working on investing in bringing better outcomes for youth, for our students in Northern Kentucky, and highlighting those great practices. And he was the first CEO, so we're very excited that we can honor him for that. He did just recently retire, and this isn't his first time retiring either, because he's done a lot of amazing work in education. He was previously the superintendent for Kenton County Public Schools, launched a lot of work around youth becoming involved in public service and giving back to the community with a group called Hanner's Heroes. He also launched an organization that became a program underneath a learning grove called Navigo College and Career Prep, which helps students to become prepared for college and career. And so he's done so much over the years, done a lot of volunteer work, also has been able to be very active, especially with policy with the Northern Kentucky Chamber as it connects to education and workforce. So we're so honored to highlight the many, many reasons that Tim is so deserving of this award.
Yeah, and Tim is so great. If you are involved at the chamber, involved with Growing KY, that is now in KY Works, the programs that he has done have made such an impact on our youth and people across the Northern Kentucky region. So it's great that we're able to honor him this year. Anything else about Tim that you think our audience needs to know?
I think Tim is such a humble servant in the community. And one of the reasons that I personally love each year being able to give this award out, sometimes these folks maybe are under the radar a little bit. We have often folks who we celebrate on a very regular occasion. And I know Tim has been celebrated in the past, but not as many people are aware of the great work that he's done. He's somebody who really is connected to mission for any organization he works with. He cares so much about students in our community, but also giving back to make Northern Kentucky stronger. So for me, just highlighting this work, even though he may not toot his own horn, it's something that we're very excited to do.
Yes, that is so great. Singing a little bit more for some of our unsung heroes. So it is great to be able to honor Tim. And I know at Horizon Community Funds, you guys are always super busy doing great work in the community. What are you guys looking forward to for the end of this year and into next year?
There's a lot moving in our community, as you know, and we are honored to always partner with other growth organizations like the Chamber, like the Area Development District, One in KY Alliance. There's always a few key issues that bubble up in the community. We want to be nimble and responsive to support where the community needs are. One of those, not surprisingly, is housing, and that's income-aligned housing across our Northern Kentucky region, our One in KY region. The Northern Kentucky Area Development District just had a survey. They're working on some strategic solutions. They're shopping those ideas through subcommittees and with the community. And so this fall on October 1st, Horizon will be holding its annual Northern Kentucky Philanthropy Symposium. This is at the St. E's Training and Education Center on Mineola Pike. And so we will be spending the morning talking about some of those strategies, hearing about the data and the results from the assessment and survey that they had through the Area Development District, and really just thinking through what are some of those right approaches to addressing the housing situation, which is really becoming a crisis nationally, but we're seeing it locally as well. So highlighting that and then culminating that morning with our annual Northern Kentucky Nonprofit Awards during the luncheon. So it's a tight, action-packed morning. We'll have registration open starting in the coming few weeks. And so we hope the community can join us. Usually there's about 200 to 250 people there. So it's a really great morning of learning and finding out ways that you can provide feedback and plug in on this issue.
Yeah, that sounds like a great one, Nancy. Anything else about Horizon Community Funds that we need to know before I let you go today?
We're always excited to partner with community members. So if you wish to become more involved and give back to Northern Kentucky or hear a little bit more about what some of those opportunities are, feel free to reach out and you can join us on www.horizonfunds.org.
All right. Well, Nancy, thank you so much for your time today. We are looking forward to celebrating him, our Horizon Award winner this year at annual dinner.
Thanks so much, Sarah. I appreciate it. We look forward to it as well.
Let's raise a glass. There's so much to celebrate this year, from the Northern Kentucky Chamber's 55th anniversary to milestones for the Women's Initiative, Regional Youth Leadership, and Leadership Northern Kentucky. To mark these important milestones, we're partnering with New Riff Distilling to raise funds to support leadership programming at the Northern Kentucky Chamber. Now through September 13th, for every $200 donation made to the Northern Kentucky Chamber Foundation, donors will receive a special thank you 750 milliliter bottle of New Riff Single Barrel Bourbon with a commemorative edged label of your choice. Thanks to Paul Hemmer Company's STEP and Global Business Solutions for helping to make this happen. To donate, visit nkychamber.com/fundraiser.
Ranking on Google Search and Maps is easy to understand, but hard to do. It requires constant effort and attention. Uploading new photos, responding to Google reviews, writing weekly posts, and checking suggested updates. Google listing optimization takes experience and time, and there are no shortcuts. C-Crew gives your Google My Business account the steady, consistent attention it needs to be effective, optimizing, updating, and expanding critical content every single week. From local retail stores to large regional networks, C-Crew generates content, establishes benchmarks, and creates dramatic, measurable increases in engagement. So what can C-Crew do for your business? More calls, more clicks, more clients.
Hi, everyone. Today on the podcast, I am joined by Nick Rolfe and Jessica Hurley. They are the chair and vice chair of the Fort Thomas Business Council. Welcome to the podcast, guys.
Thanks. Happy to be here.
Yes. So let's jump right in. Recently, the chamber got involved with the Fort Thomas Business Council. It was the Fort Thomas Business Association, I believe. You guys have been around for a while doing great work with our small businesses in Fort Thomas. But tell us what you guys have been up to lately.
So we, like you said, we started as the Fort Thomas Business Association, I think it was 20 years ago this year. So, and, you know, we've gone through different ebbs and flows of the organization. And then over the past year or so, we were kind of starting the conversation with the chamber about, you know, would it make sense for a partnership? What value could we add to each other's organizations? And, kind of the more that we talked about it, the more it made sense. So we had some internal conversation and decided that we thought it might be a good fit. So the rest is history.
Mm-hmm. And it's been a really good experience. Our meetings are much more organized.
Thank you, Beth.
Yeah, thanks for that. And then just more attendance, I think. Better attendance. And I think it's been a really good experience.
Yeah, that is great to hear. We know you guys serve a lot of those smaller businesses in Fort Thomas, and Fort Thomas has such a vibrant little small business community. You guys it's a great place to walk around, be able to walk in and see different businesses. When you guys think about the mission and goals that the Fort Thomas Business Council has in terms of like elevating small businesses and things like that, what are your mission and goals?
So our mission statement, I guess you could say, is ACES. It's advocacy, collaboration, education, and support. So that's kind of what we try to tailor everything toward and kind of build everything off of. Partnership with the chamber just made sense. It gives us so much more reach. It gives us more resources, extra support. So it just it's kind of a no-brainer, and I think it really adds value to our whole organization.
Yeah, that's great. And so you guys have recently been doing some things with NKU. You guys had a study done on the Fort Thomas business kind of ecosystem. Tell us a little bit about what that study found and what you guys are seeing on the ground level of like what's going on in Fort Thomas specifically.
Yeah, so that one was actually real fresh. We just had that last week, and NKU had a group of students for their entrepreneurship class do a whole study about our business community, what are our challenges, what are our weaknesses, where do we have opportunities for growth. They studied other cities all around the country and kind of came back to us with some results, which were really cool. So I think our final takeaway was 4 different points that we're going to focus on as far as regulation issues potentially, and what challenges businesses might face as far as that goes. We're going to work on an onboarding program with the city. So if a new business comes in, we can kind of have a whole packet together. If you need help in this area, you contact this person. If you need help with this, you go this way. So that'll be really cool. Marketing is obviously always a hot topic for any business. So we're going to dedicate some resources to figure out what makes the most sense and how we can be helpful to our members there. And then understanding our city's why is the last thing. So at this point, we're kind of like, these are the things we're going to focus on, and we kind of tasked all of our members to think about those for a month until our next meeting, and we're going to sit down with our roundtable meetings and kind of see what everybody drummed up as ideas. We want them to come with questions or concerns. This is going wrong. This is going wrong. We want them to come with ideas like, how can we improve this? How can we make this better? So that hopefully we'll have some really good conversations and some things to grow upon. So.
Yeah, it sounds like a really good collaborative environment that you guys are working on with those businesses. Talk a little bit about how you're bringing those businesses together. I know you just said you had a monthly meeting. I know you guys do some networking. How are you guys getting all of these businesses to network and work together?
Do you want to tackle that one?
Sure. So we kind of alternate our meetings. So some will be, every other will be like a networking event. So we'll go to a local business and, have a happy hour or something like that and just socialize and get to know each other. And then the other half of our meetings are usually topic based. It could be we bring in the speaker to talk about marketing or to talk about different things to help your business. What are you doing to get people in the door? And then like the last one was for the study, which was really great that we had the opportunity to even be a part of the study. We've done things where we'll have kind of an update on the city, where we'll have officials come in and tell us what they're doing or what they're working on. So it kind of ranges in different topics. We try to change it up so you don't feel like you're going to the same thing every month, and it makes it a little more interesting.
Mm-hmm. We try to alternate kind of times of the day too. That way, because some people can't get away during the middle of the day, so they can only come to the networkings. But some people, here's my work day. This is my day, my time allotted away from family, which we totally get. So we try to, make it so that we're available whenever people can get to us. So.
Yeah. Sounds like you guys are providing a lot of educational resources for your businesses, which I know is vital. That's a huge thing about what we do at the Chamber. Outside of the business councils, obviously, we have a lot of events that are educational, a lot of networking events, which you guys are also doing too. Outside of those two things, what are some of the benefits for businesses that are in Fort Thomas who are maybe interested in joining the council? What are those benefits like for those businesses who would join?
Oh, man. So there's a longer list, but so, I mean, we kind of have two different ways that you can be a member. So you can either be just a Fort Thomas Business Council exclusive member, which is $100 for the year, or you can be a full chamber member, which gives you reciprocal membership. So, obviously the chamber membership's a little bit more, but with that you get a lot more. You get, work comp benefits, health benefits, or options. They're endless with the chamber. But even with us, we're providing these different meeting types. We're providing networking reach that I feel like we've never had before. We had a networking event in collaboration with the chamber at Grassroots, and we had 70 some odd people there.
Yeah, it's a big
and a lot of people that I was talking to, we've never been to Fort Thomas, or we never knew this was here, and you would see them after the meeting go somewhere down the road for ice cream or for dinner or something. So it was really cool to see people staying and seeing what else we have to offer. So anything that you want to add to that?
I think you pretty much covered it. I think the biggest benefit, depending on your business, if you're a brick and mortar, is exactly that. We'll host events at a business, and then people that have never came show up and go and venture out in the city and see other places and potentially come back. So I think that's a really big benefit. If you're not a brick and mortar, it's still beneficial to get out and build those relationships and network. For referral business, you might get, off of just making those connections and relationships.
Yeah, and actually one thing that I thought about while you were talking, so previously when we were the Fort Thomas Business Association, we were kind of like hyper focused on Fort Thomas, and I think part of that opened the discussion was, we can't rely on just Fort Thomas. Like it'd be silly to think that all of our business comes from only Fort Thomas members. So we try to tailor some of our meetings towards exclusive Fort Thomas discussion, like our roundtables that we'll have. So it wouldn't make sense for people outside of the city to come to those meetings because it's not going to really relate to their business. But for some of the networking ones, we're going to get a lot more reach and a lot more potential customers and connections for our businesses to make that they wouldn't otherwise have.
Right.
So
I think that makes sense, especially, but you want to stay focused on Fort Thomas. Obviously, you guys know your ecosystem, you know your community. One of the funniest things about Northern Kentucky is we're segmented, but we're one whole big region. But when you go into each of our different cities, and I think especially Fort Thomas with the robust ecosystem that you guys have with those small businesses, when you go into Fort Thomas, it does feel different than like a Newport or a Bellevue or a Florence or a Covington. It is its own community. So it's great to know that you guys are serving our businesses in the unique needs that they have. For people who are interested in coming to your next meeting or joining, you mentioned there are two different types of membership, but tell us how people can join.
Yeah, so you can join ahead of time by going to the chamber website. We have a page specifically there for the Fort Thomas Business Council. And there you can kind of choose which type of membership that you want to do. Or if you can, we like to have people pre-register for our events, but we have a lot of walk-ins and we're not going to turn anybody away. So even just showing up at our next member meeting, you can see what we have to offer, see if it makes sense, and we can take payment there and fill out the application and everything. So we're pretty open. However people want to come join us, we're open to have you. So.
Yeah, I know you guys also have a Facebook page that people can kind of see what's coming up and what has happened, get a little bit more involved. Jessica, anything to add on how people can get involved with you guys?
I think that covers it. Just show up. Just come to the meetings, or if anything, call us and we can fill them in if they're not on Facebook or aren't sure where to find these meetings. We're available. Or
we're pretty easy to find. So.
Yeah.
just Google us.
Yeah, it makes it very easy. But Nick, Jessica, it's been great to have you on. Before I let you go, is there anything else that our viewers and listeners need to know about Fort Thomas Business Council, the benefits of getting involved, anything else that we didn't get to cover today that you guys want to make sure we highlight?
I don't think so. The only thing I might say is, even though you may not be a Fort Thomas business specifically, you might not have a brick and mortar there. That doesn't mean you can't become a member. We have a lot to offer. We'd love to have the more the merrier. So.
Yep. Anything else?
Ditto.
Well, that was nice and succinct. Thank you guys so much for coming on the podcast today.
Thanks for having us. We appreciate it.
Chris Knockelman with Schneller Knockelman Plumbing, Heating, and Air. It's spring now, but before you know it, our ACs are working overtime.
Dave, it's going to be warm soon.
Right now is a good time to get the AC serviced, right?
You can get your AC tuned up for only $59.
So get your $59 tune-up at
SKPHA.com. SKPHA. So if your plumbing and mechanical systems give you trouble, just remember our name, Schneller Knockelman.
Housing is a regional priority. Having an ample supply of homes is fundamental for the Northern Kentucky region to meet basic economic needs and enable regional growth. Learn more about income-aligned housing, the region's housing needs, and why it is essential to ensure Northern Kentucky continues to be a great place to live, work, play, learn, and give back at bit.ly/NKY Housing Study.
Welcome back, everyone. Thank you so much for tuning into the podcast today. I hope you enjoyed learning a little bit more about the Fort Thomas Business Council and about our 2024 Horizon Award recipient. For more information on our business councils, you can visit nkychamber.com and find our business councils tab. And for your tickets to annual dinner, if you're not already registered, you can get those tickets at nkychamber.com/events. Like I said, that event is happening on Thursday, September 12th at the Northern Kentucky Convention Center, and it is a can't miss event. Thank you to our podcast sponsors, CVG, C. Crew Consulting, and Schneller Knockelman. Finally, if you're a member who'd like to be featured on the podcast, or if you're someone who is interested in joining the Northern Kentucky Chamber of Commerce, please reach out to Lynn Ablin. And if you're a member who would like to share your workforce strategies and resources on our Talent Strategies Spotlight, please reach out to Nancy Spivey. You can find their contact information on the screen in front of you or at our staff directory at nkychamber.com. Thanks again for tuning in. I'll talk to you guys next week.